G'day folks, Corey Hind. I hope you're really well. So this question's popping up more and more this year. Why did your Google business profile get suspended? Now, for the first time for myself, it's happened to one of my listings, which is a first. I manage lots of accounts and have done for many years. So it's a bit of a surprise, but it's good for me to work through the process as well because it helps me get a deeper understanding so I can teach you guys more about it. So there's a few things that have happened this year. First of all, the sequence of events leading up to the suspensions has been interesting. So there's been lots of changes with Google Business Profile, going from the name change, the way it's managed, the way it appears, the way they want us to use it. And as this year has evolved, more and more businesses are getting suspensions. Now, usually they're not long term. Once they get reviewed by a human, they normally get put back on, which is good. So that's the good news, is that unless you've been deliberately trying to break the rules, you will usually get it reinstated, which is important because this can be a huge part of business generation for any local business. Now, I'm going to just get my head out of the way so we can focus on some of the work. Now, this video is called Why Did It Get Suspended? And then the robots have gone crazy lately. Now, the reason I've said the robots have gone crazy lately is it seems that there's been some major changes to the way that the Google robots pick up change. And as soon as there's a variance or something a little bit out of whack, it seems like the methodology now is suspension and then make the listing owner go through the process to double check the terms and conditions that Google have on these and work through the form process to then get a person to review it. And I think partially it's helping people to understand the platform more and probably get back to doing things the right way. But it's also helping flush out a whole bunch of listings that probably shouldn't be there or ranked where they are. So the robots have gone crazy. I think that's a big part of why we've got lots of suspensions happening right now. It seems right now in the middle of 2022, these are happening a lot. I've never had one suspended myself. I've had lots of people reaching out to me in various places on the internet to ask for help. So it's a bit of a surprise. So when I go to my Google Business Profile Manager, for the very first time, there's one that says suspended. Now, I'm working through that with the business owner and also Google to get that fixed. I expect it'll be fixed within 48 hours because I've reviewed the terms and conditions. I've reviewed any changes we made in the last week, and I've fixed those things and submitted the form. Now, I do have a video that goes through what to do once you've been suspended. So that's going to be at the end of this video as well. So make sure you check that one out. But it's really, really useful to know, why. Why did you get suspended in the first place? Because if you know that root reason, you can fix it. And then your reinstatement should be really easy. So thing number one is usually that the business name is simply not correct. So if your business is called ABC Painting and you've then gone and called it ABC Painting Auckland Painters, that could be the basic problem right there. Or it might just be something entirely different to your business name. It could be that you've keyword stuffed it, which means you've put all the words you're trying to rank for in the listing name, whereas Google does say that the listing name should be the name of the business. So make sure that your business name is correct. We've seen that happen in a few instances. We suspect that's what's happened for us as well, perhaps because we added a location word to the end to differentiate it from somebody else, which might have confused the Google bot, and then it just gets automatically flagged, and then we have to manually get it reviewed. The next one that pops up often is people who might be using a PO box or a virtual office address, and that might be enough for Google to, I call it, Google kind of weirds out. Like it goes, oh, what's this? This is unusual. We'd better flag this and get this reviewed. It's not like they've gone, you are evil and have tried to break the rules. They're just kind of saying, this is not in line with what we thought. So that could be the reason there. Or any other address inconsistency. So anything that's, for example, you might have your address on your website, but then on Google Business it's slightly different, or somewhere else on the internet it's different. Anything at all that's different about the address can flag and get you suspended because it is an address-based platform. It's really important that Google knows that your address is correct. So that's definitely something to watch out for. The next one is, you might be an online-only business and you actually don't qualify for Google Business Profile. That happened heaps last year, 2021. There was a big flush out and loads of businesses that had set up Google Business Profiles that technically didn't comply with the terms and conditions of Google as whether they were meant to qualify to have a listing. That has got deleted. Simple as that. And they were unable to be fixed. This one here does happen if there's two businesses at the same address. It's like this one up here. As soon as there's an address inconsistency, Google just goes, this is weird. What's going on? Let's get the business owner to manually submit and fix this. And that's really all these things are. Google's just saying, hey, you need to address this. Go back and read our terms and conditions. Be aware of how this whole thing works and fill in the form, and we'll get a real human to review this and get you back online. This one here, I've made it yellow because for us, with our particular one that's been suspended, we do go in the first month when we take on a client and we have a checklist that we work through. And perhaps last week I had too much energy and I was trying to do too much at once. That can happen. So if you make lots of changes at the same time to your listing, that can be a flag to Google. And they say, oh, that's a bit unusual. We better suspend this just to make sure everything's okay. The next one could be as simple as the website address you've listed in your information on Google Business Profile goes somewhere else or to a Facebook page. That can be a bit weird to Google and they flag it. The other one could be if you've changed from a storefront address to a service area business. So for example, you're a plumber with a location, but then you decide to just run a bunch of plumbing vans and be a service area business. That could be a flag to Google that they need to get you to review your listing and go through the process as well. This one's a basic one, and I've seen it happen before. The hours that you've got just don't match, or I've said address again, but this is more about the hours not matching. Your website might say, we're a 9 to 5 business, but Google My Business says 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. That could be some reason for Google to flag you and suspend you as well. If your business is listed as a 24/7 business when you probably aren't, that can be enough of a reason. This one here doesn't happen often, but we have seen it happen. So you might have a manager who's associated with your listing. That manager person gets suspended for some other reason on Google, and that could get your listing suspended as well, just via that association. So that could be a reason there. And the other one is, and we've kind of mentioned this before, you've got a few listings at the same address. Google doesn't really like that. Now, this here is the bottom line for most of these issues. If you're playing by the rules mostly and you're not quite sure why it's been suspended, it's kind of, at the moment, we feel that this is happening so much that it's kind of Google's way of saying, hey, we need you to review this. We need you as the business owner to review your listing so that we can then manually review your listing to make sure it's okay. Because remember, Google's trying to make the ultimate business directory on the planet, which I think they've done. And they're just trying to keep it tidy and get, the reviews happening. I also feel like now that COVID's settled down and there's more staff coming back to Google, they might be trying to play catch up, because last year a lot of their offices weren't manned as fully, so lots of things weren't happening. So it could be any one of those reasons, but make sure you dive into the terms and conditions about Google Business Profile, make sure you understand them, and then work through the process to get reinstated. Now, this video down here, I'll put this in the description, that one has the steps to follow when you do get suspended, so please watch and work through that as well. All right, guys, hopefully that's useful. If you've got any questions, pop them in the comments below, and we'll talk soon. Bye for now.